We are one.
We are spreading the word about an energy vigil dedicated to the betterment of melanin-dominant people worldwide. It is called Melanin Emerging Collective Consciousness Alignment. As you know, there are groups across the world that pray and meditate for global peace and love. Though this has benefited the world, it is obvious that more is needed to dissolve the systematic and individual oppression of melanin-dominant people worldwide. Our collective is transmitting frequencies right now. Each week, a different melanin-dominant group is accountable for generating and holding the frequency. We began transmitting on Fall Equinox 2019. To find out more or get involved in this movement, check out our website at www.melaninfrequency.org.
Immortal. Yeah. Came out the portal, immortal into a human body. I've been existing way before the earth had Anunnakis. Intergalactical battles, intergalactical travels, infinitely going through stars. The universe will unravel all of its secrets, peep it. I'm starting to leak it. Time for truth is coming, 100, it's time to seek it. Expanding my perception through the spectrum of light. I'm going in with spectrum and the shit's out of sight. We indigo children, yeah, we building frequencies through the ceiling. Penetrating through reality, a marvelous feeling. Regardless, we're healing these humans that be claiming we demonic. The resonance goes over their heads, we super cosmic. Your logic is ignorance mixed with fear in your thinking. My pineal gland is flooding, son, that shit don't be blinking. Sinking into your subconscious like a song with no words. The way I come up with these symbols of letters is absurd. Hey yo, my rhymes are like angelic beings. The shit is freeing, so pure that if you were born blind, I'll have you seeing. Breathing in a multidimensional light so captivating. Double helix is nonsense, so what I'm activating. Feel the power from within, seeping right through my skin. From the earth into my feet as it goes up to my chin. It got me grinning, rotation like spirals, my music spinning. I told you that I don't be playing, still I'm always winning. Fibonacci to the haters, curve them right to the side. They don't understand the energy, it comes from inside. So inside is what I master, used to be a disaster. Now I'm gladly elevating to a whole new chapter. Yeah, I'm giving birth to a whole new style. I incarnated through New York, yeah, I rep Long Island. Don't get it twisted though, I'm truly repping this earth. I came to free all these humans and show you all what you're worth. Immortal. Yeah, raising your frequencies one soul at a time. As I pass this mic to my boy Spectrum, yo Spectrum, light that up, kid.
They tried to tell me I'm mortal, I told them I was immortal. They asked me what makes me different, I asked them what makes you normal. I just followed my morals and I unfollowed the formal. Hopped on a track with crews, now we straight cruising through portals. I download the Metatron, I'm reversing it till I'm dead and gone. If you think I'm dope, then you said it wrong. Not trying to flex, but I'm hella strong. Mine did things you never seen. When I say mine, you know what I mean. I'm the most when I'm in my mode, and y'all average is like the mean. I really didn't mean to go intervene. I'm the middleman chilling in between. You should do the math, we ain't keeping score. But I just hit a 3.14. I cook it up, make it look easy as pie. I'm moving in silence and seeing the sign. I am the G. If you remove me, all you gon' see is your sins. This is a big game of six. The simulation is breaking again. I'm taking control, creating my soul. And if the truth fits, I'm breaking it in. Breaking it. All I really know is that I'll never know. I've been here for forever, don't know when to go. I think that indicates that I'm an indigo. In that case, I'm in the go. Green light, my heart, chakra booming. Solar plexus, Lexus zooming. You assuming that I'm human. I'm just being what you doing. I've been teaching teachers frequently. It's apparent I'm a parent when it comes to raising frequencies. The way I'm living life, I haven't rest in peace recently. Immortal with my technique, but my ego dying easily. Death is teasing me by leaving me with DMT. Now it seems to me that everything I see is seeing me. Life is just an infinite circle with a twist. I used to wanna be like them, now they do not exist.
Immortal.
All right, all right, all right. And we have come to the time, to the hour or more, where we bring to us all the melanin frequency vigil and the 52 acts of unity. We have been transmitting this vigil, this frequency, since the fall equinox of 2019. Yes, we have. And we are now in the year almost closing it out. We close to it of the 52 of the year, the divine unity, right? And so our frequency that we're moving through is we embody our natural love frequency, living as one in divine unity on earth. We embody our natural love frequency, living as one in divine unity on earth. I'm going to say that a third time to seal and imprint it in our hearts and in our minds. We embody our natural love frequency, living as one in divine unity on earth. If you're new to the space, you've never been here, I want you to know that we come here every single Sunday. We call Dolly at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So we hope that you find what you hear tonight highly interesting. And if you want to hear more, visit melanatedimmortals.com. We definitely have a plethora of information right there for you. Let me know in the chat if everybody is hearing me okay before I continue on, because I did hook up my cell phone to make sure there were no interruptions. But we're going to keep this show on the road, moving forward for each and every one of us. Give thanks, Shamuda, for that confirmation. I greatly appreciate you for that. My Blue Galactic Knight. Everyone, I am Priestess Moot Mayat Nefer Habibullah, and I am a priestess of the Mimic Priesthood here with Melanated Immortals. My kin number is 178. I am the white solar mirror, and my affirmation is I pulse in order to reflect, realizing order. I seal the matrix of endlessness with the solar tone of intention, and I am guided by the power of timelessness. And if at any point in time you get lost in what is being said, just breathe through that, okay? And if at any given time you receive some technical challenges along the way, our number one advice is for you to log out and to log back in. Ashe, we are Melanated Immortals making evolutionary changes, and our mission is to shift the global consciousness of the melanin dominant population and establish an everlasting legacy of divine frequency beings with immortal health and immortal wealth through the application and remembrance of cosmic knowledge. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. Thank you all so very much for the confirmations. Ashe. We are here in the Blue Eagle Wave Spell. Yes, it's all about vision. It's all about seeing it through. And we are on Kin 243, the Blue Solar Night. Yes, supported by the Solar Warrior, as the physical body or the planetary body, supported by the solar storm, which is the spirit, the blue solar storm, which is right above that center archetype in the middle. And that's the spirit body. Then to the left, we have the red solar skywalker, supporting us through our exploration and everything. And then below is the overtone mirror, giving us the reflection and the order of our emotions as we go throughout this day, or I like to say plasma instead of day, because there's nothing lackadaisical about what we do as melanated immortals. We go through life living as the plasma that's running through our veins. Ashe. So read with me, if you would, please, this affirmation for today. We're going to do it 3 times. The first time with the I, the second time with the U, The third time with we as a collective, Ashe. And when you say you, you're reflecting it to your loved ones, to the community, to the universe, in and as of a whole. Ashe. So let's do this. I pulse in order to dream, realizing intuition. I seal the input of abundance. With the solar tone of intention, I am guided by the power of self generation. You pulse in order to dream, realizing intuition. You seal the input of abundance with the solar tone of intention, and you are guided by the power of self generation. Now, collective, we pulse in order to dream, realizing intuition. We seal the input of abundance with the solar tone of intention, and we are guided by the power of self generation. Whoo! Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. Give thanks for that energy. If anything resonated with y'all as we read that signature or that affirmation, I don't mind. You go ahead, put it in the chat if you would, please. If it was a one-liner, if it was one word, but this is the energy that we move and are walking in and throughout this here plasma that we're on today. Ashe. So now I'm going to pull up the announcements. If you're new and if you're not new, you see something, you might want to go ahead and just grab a pen and a piece of paper right now so you can mark down a date, a time, because trust me, we got a lot going on in this space and we want you to be a part of it as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those announcements up and I'll be right back. Daily awake, I am today. Daily acknowledges the act of God empowering me to breathe. Alive I am today represents more time to live, move, and have my being. Amazing I am shows the wonders of light shining on my face. Healed from afflictions, distractions, and manipulations of this world. Strong I am today as the sun shines, wind blows and rain falls, reminding me to stand each test time. Wise I am today to see the truth at face value and walk with confidence, knowing.
Habitats of weeds, daily supplies. 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 Daily supplies. It's the way that the love flows. Habitats of weeds, habitats of weeds.
All right, all right. That was the announcements. My hope is that y'all was able to grasp it, but if not, let me go ahead and share. Oops, I didn't want to bring that back up. Let me bring the slides back up. There we go. So I wanted to share a couple of things here. If you are of the divine feminine, Boshatalet is active and it is looking for you to bring your womb power, to bring your natural inborn innate medicine, to be the temple, to be the goddess that you were created to be, and to bring in the embodiment for us all to come together. And remember, in our Boshatalet sisterhood, we've brought in the magnetic moon Boshatalet. Now we're preparing ourselves for the lunar moon Boshatalet, which is going to be on Thursday, August the 27th, at 7 and 8. Mind you, we start at 7 and we end at 8. But this is all sound vibrations that we are bringing through our wholeness. All right. So if you think you might be interested and you want to know a little bit more about it, email yogini9@melanatedimmortals.com, or you can text 404-803-4726, or you can join us in WhatsApp at Boshatalet. Okay, we do have an app there. We'll definitely make sure you get all the 411 that you need to be a part of it. In and of the same, Melanated Immortals has now membership tiers available to you in 6 whole different levels, right? And mind you, each level gets greater and greater, bigger and bigger, more and more, better and betterer. As you see here, you come in as an explorer, or the explorer is the free membership. That means you get on the email list and you get the 411 of what's going on and a couple of other things there. Then there's the engager, which is the doorway into your evolution. Then we have the seeker, which is the foundation of why. Okay, building your foundation. There are classes included. And there's so many other benefits like the Orisha Stone sacred jewelry that we have on the website there. You get discounts on services and so forth. The integrator level, which is the level of you embodying your original human wholeness, all right? And then the divine. You can't help but be divine when you walk through each and every single one of those levels, but then you can get it all if you want to be a part of that mastery path. And mind you, every value here is worth every penny spent. It is an investment into all that it is that we're doing here in Mimic, as well as what we're doing for the universe. But then there's that last one there. We call it is the 6th tier. However, it is an all inclusive. Every single thing you see on this here slide is included in that one paid in full cost, or you can do it in payment in 2 payments. Okay, each and every single one of the tiers you can make in part payments, but the incentive is that instead of over a 13 moon timeline, you're only paying out 10 moons if you pay it all up front. So check it out, go to the website, and definitely make sure you become a part of what we got going on here. Then even in that membership, and if you're not have a membership right now, we are in our first quarterly Mimic Mission Flow orientation. Upcoming is the 3rd heptad, which heptad means in the Greg and them societal, we don't want to go there weak, because there's nothing weak about what we do every single plasma. We say heptad on August the 14th. So if you log in to melanatedimmortals.com, get on that email list, you'll likely get a reminder letting you know this coming Friday we'll be bringing in the 3rd session of our orientation, Ashe. And definitely it's a place to be. Yeah, we just had some serious 411 put out the last couple of heptads, so you want to make sure you're tapping in. We have our 52 Acts of Unity manual, but we also have one for our youth, the Melanin frequency 52 acts of divine unity youth workbook, that if you have children or nieces and nephews that you want to be able to walk with them through these 52 acts of unity, when I tell you it is worth it, it is worth it. So make sure you take a visit to what is it, mimic.gumroad.com. Check out the manuals and the costs and get your copies now. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead. This is the time. I'm literally going through this real quick, fast, in a hurry. But we want to bring up our honoree, our honored guest speaker tonight. I want to give him all the time. He needs to be able to deliver what we know can come through him. I'm not saying no names because I'm going to leave that up to high priestess, right? It's a surprise to some, but it might not be. If y'all been in tune to what's been going on social media. Okay, let me open my eyes because I got my eyes closed because I got my cheeks are like almost in the burning stage because I'm excited here. But let me introduce my high priestess, our high priestess, my I am Makaru Amen. She definitely is a visionary leader. She definitely brings out the cosmic knowledge, and she's a founder of Mimic, okay? She's definitely rooted and grounded in the information that we deliver in Mimic, to the point that you can't help but to evolve. You can't help but to know how to get through every single challenge that you may face in life. Because when you become whole-minded, when you become balanced, when you become pure in your journey, when you become able to see things before they happen or plan them out, life just flows. And if anything I've learned from High Priestess in the 4 or 5 years I've known her, it is definitely how to flow. So I give thanks. Let's all put it up in the chat if you're ready for that, to bring in none other than High Priestess. I am Makaru. Amen.
Amen. Amen. The high priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. Amen. The high priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. It's time we come together to raise our consciousness. Amen. The high priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. Amen. Amen. The high priestess, the mimic who pulled me in. Amen. It's time we come together to raise our consciousness.
All right. Greetings. Am I being heard?
Yes, you are being heard, just a little choppy.
Okay. All right. Let me know if that continues. I just need to calm down, right? That's what happens. That's what's happening, Miss Donnie. So, give thanks, and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Mimic. I know we got a bunch of folks in here from Young Elder, and Young Elder folks say hello to the Mimic folks. Mimic folks say hello to Young Elder folks. Right? This is going to be an awesome show. This is monumental, and so I'm very excited to be here with all of you, and we're gonna get into it. Oh, I'm breaking up. Okay, all right, wow. Okay, let me I got to do what I did this morning and go in on my phone. Just give me 1 second. One moment.
Open your mic, High Priestess. Everybody just blow for us, just for a moment. It worked this dawning. Just blow for us to get the wind to balance out the scales. Ashe. Balance the synergy of integrity. Ashe. Can you open your mic, High Priestess? I can see you. But if you logged in on your phone, I don't see your phone up here yet. Thank you all for your patience. And understanding. Ashe. Thank you very much for that. Like and follow and share. This is the space to be in this evening. All right. I think here she come. Here she come. Here she come. Peace and love, Orisha. Welcome, Brother
Okay.
Nabi. Okay, I think I hear you.
You hear me? Okay. I think
Yay.
I went into the wrong room. I was like, what happened? Where's everybody? Okay. All right. I'm here now. I'm here now. Apologies. It happens like that. Hi, we get these energies going, and sometimes we gotta modulate the energy. So welcome everyone again. And very excited about this evening with our special guest, Young Elder. And like I was saying, everybody from Mimic, say hello to Young Elder folks. Young Elder folks, say hello to Mimic. And I see we have Arisha Stone in the space as well. And so let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right. So just real quick, we have coming up, if you want to see us in person, every and this is interesting because this is what we're going to be talking about today. Young Elder is going to break some things down to us about these seasons, right? So every equinox and every solstice, we have in-person events. So we have our 8th annual Melanin Frequency Convergence. And yes, it is a convergence. There are things that we talk about and we discuss, there are rituals and all kinds of stuff to get done that we will not discuss on the air. So if you would like to be there, you need to go to the website. You need to go to our events page, RSVP. Let us know you're coming. It's only $222, and that includes your food and lodging. And we have very nice spaces that we stay in. So definitely, you want to check us out. Spaces are limited, and our people already told me to hold some spaces for them. So it's usually a small group of us that get together, about 20, 25 people. So especially if we're going to be in the Georgia mountains. So if you are around that area, South Carolina, Tennessee, those places, y'all come on through. All right. Also, definitely, I'm going to just breeze over this real quickly. I am doing what I'm calling pull-ups, right? I'm going to different places and getting the women activated with what we call the Melanated Mother Code. Okay. And it is a frequency that we all carry. When we come together, right, we can really start. You heard our mission. Our mission is about shifting the global consciousness. And so we mean it. As we say, we mean that shit when we say it, right? So right now, I'm scheduled to be in Baltimore, then Philadelphia, then Michigan, and then of course I'm gonna hit Georgia, and then I'm gonna do something here in the Washington D.C. area. But if you want this in your area, let us know. You can go to the website, look at these bundles. This is how we're funding all the travel, okay? Because there's no charge when I get there. Pull up, right? We just gonna pull up and we're gonna get up on some things, right? All right, let's talk about real quick. This is the man who made this happen, this connection between us and young elder Orisha Stone. And so we definitely always support him. You can find his jewels on our website at our Mimic Meta Shop. So you definitely want to check that out. Of course, I'm wearing some right here, and you go there, they go fast. We just got a new, some new things in. We showed these off yesterday. We got the ones with the Jaguars on them, right? So y'all might want to go ahead and grab these before somebody else gets them, right? So shout out to Orisha Stone. We really appreciate him and everything that he does. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into what we are here talking about, this melanin frequency vigil, right? So this melanin frequency vigil, on the last session, we covered, right? So just for people who are not familiar with this, we have a book called The Birth of the Melanin Frequency. It has 52 frequencies that we transmitted on the fall equinox of 2019, and each of them have a different theme. And what we have done this year is paired them with a act of unity. So this is the one that we covered on the last session. That was covered by our priestess Ma'at Nefer Habibullah, and we are so thrilled for everything that she does. She does a lot, and she really, really went into this thoroughly about no group, person, place, or thing is authorized to abduct, abuse, or force our people into any type of slavery, child pornography, rape, forced prostitution, or any other abuse. So the way that we operate here is and I'm sure this is this is familiar to the others that are listening, is that it's what we say. We say, let there be light, and there's light. We declare frequencies and energies, and we hold a vigil. That's why we've been holding this vigil for the last going into 8 years. And so every so-called week or heptad, right, we go and we transmit the frequency by talking about, by discussing, by putting an act of unity and action next to these frequencies, right? And so that's what you see here. This is what we covered on the last cycle. Normally, we will have people come up from our unity groups and discuss what they did for this particular mission, right? But because we have a special guest, we're going to go ahead and move to this next one, right? Which is what young elder is here to talk about, right? So this is frequency wave 46 that says we always operate on natural cycles. We always operate on natural cycles. And we always operate on natural cycles. Now, I love these types of statements because they're these frequencies that are like short and sweet, right? Because it's a small statement, but there's a huge thing that has to happen for us to be able to operate on these natural cycles, right? Why is that? Because time is not what we say it is, right? Right now, we follow, we call it Greg and them's calendar, right? The Gregorian calendar, which is 12 months. And what we know is that there's a couple of things that happened to that calendar, right? They took 10 days out of it, right? So we think it's Sunday, right? It's probably Wednesday or something, right? We don't know, because it took 10 days out of it so people could pay taxes, right? We also know that they rearranged it, right? We're right in the period where they rearranged it. July is named after Julius Caesar, and August is named after Augustus Caesar, right? They both wanted months, so they stuck them in the middle of the calendar So September, which originally Sept is 7, not 9. And I know many of you already know this, right? Octo is 8, not 10. Dec is 10, not 12. Nova is 9, not 11, right? And so it kind of freaks you out, right? It's messing up your neurons when you know this, because subliminally we already know this, right? And so with these natural cycles, right? And I want to go ahead. Let's go ahead and bring up young elder, right? Because I'm starting to have a conversation. Greetings. Come through. So I'm starting to have a little conversation about this. So I know that he ready to get in on it, right? He ready to get in.
Hey,
And
you still having a pop in your mic. You might have to take the Wi-Fi off your phone because it's making your mic still pop.
okay, let me do that. Okay, let me tell you that. Okay.
Hey, Mike, check. Everybody hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We about to get it cracking. Huh? Can you say something now? Mike, check 1, 2. What it do? Yeah, take a couple seconds to reset. Hey, y'all. If you people that's asking they want to get in touch with the Melanated Immortals, we got the links in the descriptions. We got the website link, the YouTube page. Everybody be sure to go subscribe to their YouTube channel, Melanated Immortals. We got that in the link as well. Also, if you want the priestess, goddess, some love on the Cash App, we got that already pinned in the message. Just give us a second. We getting it, finna get it cracking.
Okay.
We got a couple technical difficulties.
Okay, am I clear now?
It's still popping a little bit, but I guess it's gonna have to work for now.
Okay.
Oh, now it stopped. Go ahead.
Okay,
no,
yeah,
it's
it's been like this. It's been like this all day. Oh my God. I had a class this dawning and it was like that too.
Usually
Okay.
be the Wi-Fi if you take it off. If you take it off on your phone, yeah. So it's probably you probably had to just if you could click on and click off on your phone, it might stop it because it do that to us sometimes.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna come back in.
All right. Like I say, y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Shout out to my brother Orisha Stone for hooking me up with the goddesses so we could get it cracking. We trying to bring the matriarch back in and get the sisters out front doing their thing around the globe. You know what I'm saying? We're finna get it cracking, y'all. Get a goddess a second to get back on. Like I say, everybody hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We took like a week off, but we about to get it cracking. We gonna see what's going on with this this is that Melanated Immortal song. Go hard. Yeah, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. With AI now, we getting it cracking. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, can you hear
Can
me?
you hear me? Yeah, now, yeah, it ain't got the popping I'm on now, but it got a delay on it. But okay, now it might be getting good better now.
Okay, all right.
There you go, right there. See now? Yeah, now it's working.
All right. That's what's up. Okay. So we were talking about natural cycles. We were talking about natural cycles and being and this frequency where we're talking about how we always operate on natural cycles. So that's a declaration, right? This melanin frequency is a transmission for the betterment of melanin dominant people worldwide. One of the reasons that we decided to do this is because, and this was before COVID, we started to see that, even though you have like Buddhist monks and Tibetan monks and they go around and they pray for world peace and everything, that peace wasn't coming to us. So we said, you know what, we need a whole vigil focus on us, right? We need a whole frequency. We need a whole priesthood that this is what they do. Because we just, we got to come up. We have to remove, the fog that we've had for a long time. You have to put dampeners on gods and goddesses, right? And that's what's been happening. And so for us to move back into our natural frequency, our natural mind, we also have to understand what natural time is, right? And that's part of why we use the Olmec cosmology. It aligns you more with natural cycles, right? And then we also use the cycles of the earth, the planet, right? And that's the solstices, the equinox, right? Because then they give us more grounding with natural cycles. We do what the outside does, right? Instead of, how they have the new year in January, right? When everything is dead. But that's not what the outside is doing. That's not what the bugs and the animals and all of they're hibernating, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a young elder with us this night, and I'm so excited about it. I think sometimes that's what be happening with the frequencies, and we can't get stuff, we got to modulate our frequencies to these devices. To have him come in and give us some science on natural time and these natural frequencies. And so, we have talked with Arisha Stone. I said, hey, let's get young elder on here and bring in some of this melanin frequency. So it's really an honor to have you here with us this evening. I've been on a couple of shows with you on Arisha Stone. And so it's definitely an honor to have you here with us this evening.
Thank you for inviting me on. Yeah, and what I see with the natural, like the Gregorian calendar is where they made the switch, and then I see that we on a different time wave now, because a lot of the so-called they are prophets and people like Nostradamus and all this, a lot of, and even in the Nicene Council with them putting together the biblical text, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the prophecies they off because we on a different time. We switched to a different time wave. Our time, we've been speeding up for a long time. The planet is actually heating up. They coming out of the so-called ice age. They coming out of the so-called the different time frames that they had put us on. We going back to our original time now, being that we going back. Hold on just a second. Hey, you got my boys in the background. They're getting ready to go back to start back school. But yeah, so they put us on their time, on the moon time frequency. But we're going back into the Aquarian age. We're going back into the age of water. And so time is actually speeding up right now. Whether you can feel it or not. It's time is we finna go back to where we don't need as much sleep, because melanin, like that's another thing too. Melanin is our shield, like our from ultraviolet rays. Our bodies are different from everybody. Melanated people's bodies are different from everybody else. We always been on a faster time pace than them. But in order for them to, because remember they called it a race. They said that it was a race. And so they want to kick us in our pair, and then take off and start the race, because in order for them to keep up with us, they had to slow the time down, and then they had to alter the time, right? So we right now they talking about 2026. We really they because they they got leap where they spring forward, they move the time forward, and then in fall they move the time back, and they've been doing this for a long time. And so this is why, like, even the all their prophecies that they've been predicting is off now, due to they don't really even know what time they in, but they had to bring us into this. They had 6,000 years, according to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. These people will have 6,000 years to rule the planet, and it actually was less than that, because it took them a while to get their particular system started. So right now that time is up. The hour hand and the minute hand is on 6, and they can't go over the 7. But through altering the foods, they had to GMO our foods. They had to put pause in all of our products which they make, because now we starting to make our own products. A lot of the melanated people are starting to make their own natural deodorants, natural soaps, and etc. So everything, a great switch is happening right now as we speak. A lot of people not gonna make this. Some people refer to it as the 5th dimensional shift. A lot of people not gonna make that switch. Why? Because they bred with the wrong people, right? Because some people, you got to be careful who you make kids with, because if you make kids with the wrong blood types and the wrong people that ain't on the same frequency, it could cause your bloodline to go extinct in this new wave that we're going into. And we had the Dorian calendar and the Mayan calendar, which is the same calendar, just different translations of it. We had the number 13, which represents the matriarch, which represents Big Mama. We had they want to take us off of that frequency and then move us to the 12, right? Move us back a number. And this is all part of the psyop to try to blend themselves in with our time, reference. And so now, if you notice, if you go around the world, the sun, because Dr. Malachi Z. York talk about this too, about we the people of the sun. Even a lot of the Native American tribes over here, some of their names translate into the people of the sun prior to them creating all of these incorporated names. So we are the people of the sun, and we're on. We always been in connection with the sun, right? But that's why they created that C19 thing. So they say everybody stay inside, because just by us breathing and who we are as melanated beings, we're causing the planet to heat up. Every time a melanated child is born, the planet is speeding up and getting hotter, right? And so they want to eradicate us. They want to breed us out. Doc talk about in it's a book called Man from Planet Riz that my master teacher wrote, where he talks about they wanted to create one race and they're gonna call it the Neutrozoids, right? And so they wanted to create one race to where you couldn't even tell what they were race they were. They were Chinese, they were, like, you couldn't really tell who they were. So this is all part of the game, but they lost. They really lost at this point, because they supposed to got a lot of their stuff off by 2012. A lot of the stuff that they were supposed to do, they supposed to got it off by 2012, like the chipping, try to get everybody chipped, try to create all of these new smart cities. That's why a lot of their stuff not working, because and they had to shut that CERN down. It's all connected because they supposed to had all of what they was doing with CERN up to speed by 2015, but now we they like 11 years behind. So it actually, and then our melanated ancestors, because we connected, we're not just Earth tribe. We are we are universal people.
Right.
Like we all around the universe. That's why they say type O blood is a universal blood type, because they know what they're talking about, right? So yeah, so the O negative, the negative O can give blood to anybody, right? But the negative O, well, but we can't take anybody blood in, right? Because we only can take the O in. So it's definitely a connection with the because they say the spirit is in the blood. So the blood, the time sequence that we on, because we say we moving on natural cycles, right? So the blood, the time, the sun, like in Europe right now, a lot of them is getting burnt. A lot of people are getting burnt up, man. The sun is taking them out because, like, if you're on a natural cycle, why would the sun attack you? The sun don't attack people when they on a natural cycle. When we moving with the Mother Earth, right? Mother Earth. You get, so like Mother Earth is a part of that natural cycle, right? And so now Earth is cleansing itself because we're going. It's got to be a cleansing going into this new natural cycle, right? It's got to be. I know I'm all over the place but it's got to be it's a cleansing happening. Even with, like I say, with people going out, and we can't talk much on this because they like to flag you and ban you if you go in talking about Dr. Fauci and the rest of them. And you just think about this: the they call the corona. That's like the outskirts of the sun is the corona, and then they come out with the 19, right, which represents the 19th elder, Melchizedek. I hear people talk about that. Melchizedek was the 19th elder, and they talk. If you go study the 24 elders, the 24 magnetic particles in the brain, all this is connected to the time sequence that we were on. But and then we're dealing with rhythm, because the rhythm is a universal law. Rhythm is a universal law. Rhythm is why the planets rotate without bumping into each other. The sun is rotating on a much larger scale called the equinox. So every 2100 to 2500 years, we go into a new cycle. And that the new cycle that we're going into, like I said, is the Aquarian age. We just coming out of the Piscean age. The Piscean is dealing with the yin and yang, the dualities, right? Because in order to throw off our time frequencies, they had to bring us into duality. Duality is not reality, right? Yeah, duality, like good and bad, evil and darkness and light. And really, in reality, we're dealing with three, not two. We're dealing with three. So they had to bring us on the two. That's why the first increments in time start with the second instead of what. So the second is not the first. Where's the first, right? So they had to take us into a new, alter our whole time frequency to throw us off. So like I said, they start with the second. But this is what I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Two-dimensional. Yeah, it is funny.
Yeah.
I'm sitting over here tripping because I say this all the time. I said, listen, we've only experienced two dimensions, left and right, up and down and forth. And the atom tells you how it really works. It's three parts to the atom, not two. And as you know, the proton and the neutron, they form first, and that's the weight of the atom, and then it attracts the electrons. And when people say, I don't, this dimension and everything, I said, I don't think we have experienced what we can experience in this dimension, because we've only experienced it from duality, not from being that third point that observes left and right, up and down, good and bad, right? And can make a decision about it. And then now you having a different kind of experience in the whole, space where you thought that, it was, and then when you're talking about the earth speeding up, right? Because it's almost 1 minute faster, right? I think what is it, 2030? They said it's going to be 1 minute faster. And so this is the slower realm, not necessarily lower, it's just slower. So everything that can happen fast when you don't have a physical form, you can still do it here. It's just slower. And so we're all just learning how to, or remembering how to bring heaven to earth, bring the universe to earth in this physicality. We can enjoy it. It doesn't have to be a place of pain and suffering and, just always being at war with somebody, always being in conflict and in deficit and fear and all of those places, if we change our minds about it. So that's why we're having this conversation about the natural time. Excuse me, I just had to get in on that because I was like, oh my God, I talk about this all the time.
But anytime you feel like it, I don't get offended by that. If you got something to say and you want to get it off, because I'm gonna start back where I left off at. But so like I say, if you look at like black and white, the black and white checker below 4 and the largest. So we coming out of a phase of the Piscean age, which you see 2 fish, right? And that's dealing with the yin and yang principles, right? And also, like I said, they fed us dualities, which is not reality, to take us out of reality. So you got when you study like water has hot, warm, and cold. So there's always three there. And they even talk about it in they religious. They're talking about these 3 are one, right? So what they did is when they not only did they give us duality, which is not reality, and shout out Mark Brady because Mark Brady is one of my teachers who taught me about this type of information about the mid formation. That's what he referred to it as, right? So duality is not reality, and they also fed us illegitimate opposites, right? Because they changed all the definitions of what we had, certain meanings of certain words that we had our own meaning to. They brought in their definition. That's why they had to create a dictionary. A definition like deaf is the first part of that. Deaf means you can't hear. So if you don't know the real definitions and what words really mean, then you automatically rule this death. And ignition is like to ignite something or start something up. So we're missing the start part just by them giving us their definitions of, and they so tricky. Even when you go in the courtroom, they give you they got totally different definitions for words that's to the public, right? So they got a whole nother lingo. Even in the hospitals, they got a whole nother lingo. When they say abdomen and all these other words, terms they use, so they got their own definitions for it to keep us locked out of that system. But to go into more on the because this dealing with the time and natural time, duality versus reality. Just for example, they taught us that the opposite of true love or love is hate. And that's not true. That's not true. The opposite of love is not hate, it's fear. Why? Because true love stands there in a time of danger, and it would give you its greatest gift, which is life itself. Because while fear would run and hide, let me give you a scenario. When you see a little kid, a little boy was playing, and 2 boys were playing in the yard with a ball, and the ball rolled in the street. And one of the little boys ran to get the ball, but a car was coming up about to hit the boy. Now his mother was sitting on the porch. And she while she saw the car coming, she ran into the road to save her son. But when she was going to save her son, she was going to get hit by the car. Now fear would come in and block. Would say, "Oh, I don't want to get hit." So it would prevent her from saving her son. But true love risked his very own life. It risked his very own life to save another loved one. So what fear is, fear rules out. Love rules, divine love, and ultimate the higher form of love roots out fear, because people do a lot of stuff. People will do it with true love. People will do a lot of stuff, and fear has no place there. But by them telling us that hate is the opposite of love, we don't really know what love is. Nowadays, it just become a word, because somebody can say love you all day, but until they put some action behind that, it's none and void, right? It's none and void. So yes, so they kept giving us these dualities. They told us about God and the devil, but they never told us about what sits in between God and the devil. If you look at the balance, the Libra scales have 3 parts. It has a left, a right, and then in the middle, right? Yep. So by taking out the middle of everything, they pretty much, this is how they put us on their frequency and their dualities, because they only got 2. We came in with 3. We came in on the 3, right? But they came in on the 2, on the second, and which goes back to what I said, why they gave us the first increment of time, which is the second. All right. And then they also gave us combination numbers. The highest number is 9. There's no number higher than 9. When you go into 10, that's a combination of 1 and 0, or 12 is a combination of 1 and 2. So that the only number or the highest number is 9. And then when you start to get into mathematics and you start talking about 9 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 2 is 18. 1 and 8 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 27. 2 and 7 is 9. And you can keep going all the way up until you get to 9 plus 9 times 9, and it'd be 81, and so it come back to 9. So yeah, so they have given us their false realities. I mean, their false duality, like I said, and that is part of the reason that we're battling each other. And then if you go more into, because we're talking about the Piscean age and we're going into the Aquarius, if you talk about the Pisceans, you're dealing with 2 fish. And people wonder why Christians ride around with a fish on the back of their car, or why the Pope wears a fish hat. And it actually ties into our ancestors, one of our ancestors, who are the Dogon people, right? And the Dogons actually was in America. They replaced them, and then now they call them the Hope. They replaced them with Siberians, and then calling them Hopi. But the Dogons were the people who actually dug out the different temples in the Grand Canyon. That's why why the Smithsonian Institute is covering up the Grand Canyon. The Dogons are one of the original tribes of the ancient Egyptians. And so, yeah, the Dogon said, which is our ancestors, they said that people came from Cyrus, right? Because we was aligned with Cyrus yesterday on the 8/8, dealing with the Lion's Gate portal, right? The Dogon people said that some fish beings, right? Fish-looking beings, right? And this become your mermaids and etc. We could get into that, but they came and told them about and it's also going to tie in with the time frame in the Dendorian calendar, because the Dendorian calendar actually was put together by Enki, but it was taught in detail to the Dogon people about the times and the cycles, right? And this would later become Christianity, by the way, because you're dealing with the 12 disciples, right? And then you have 12 star constellations, and then you're talking about the Son of God, which would be the SUN that sits in between, in the middle, that goes around these 12 cycles. And so the Dogon people taught our people, because we can say the melanated people as a whole is all one people, right? But they want to make us fight against each other, say the Africans and the people over here. We was a one world civilization. If you want to get ready down to, I got a book called the One World Tartessian Empire. So we was the Africans, all melanated people have a similar source when it come down to the melanin, right? But at this time we dealing with them trying to that's why we saying the African thing, because when we use the African thing over here in America, that goes along with them trying to steal our land, because they can say, oh yeah, well, you ain't from here, you from Africa. And then they can steal our land, try to dispossess us, right? but that's another topic, right? But when you talk about melanated, the Africans are melanated too. Melanated people are in China, and they don't even show these people on TV. Melanated people are in all parts of the lands, whether it be Australia, whether it be Alaska. It's melanated people everywhere, all over the planet. But we're dealing with white supremacy, where they try to like I say, for the Pan Africa guys, they over in Africa right now making all the pharaohs white. They made Hannibal white, and that's this going off the topic, but going back to the Dogon people, like I said, because people say, "Oh, you're talking about Africans?" Yeah, I'm talking about melanated people. If you want to get rid of the terms and then start saying melanated people, and then we can see where they set up the division, right? So, but these Dogon peoples didn't even have a telescope, didn't even have. So how do they know about Cyrus B and Cyrus C and these stars that you can't even see with the naked eye without a telescope? Well, our ancestors tell us, and the Hopi have. If you look at the like I was saying about the Hopi and the Dogons, really are the same people, not the ones they showing you now, the ones they showing you now, right? But they have, if you look at the cultures and the dress, you can see it's the same culture with the Katrina dolls, with the Dogon dolls. If you make the connections, even the building styles. If you look at how they say the Hopi built all they structures, right? They living arrangement. It's the same as the Dogons, right? If you go look it up. So they like to play games and divide and conquer us. That's a whole nother topic. But going back to the Nomos, they were fish beings dealing with the Piscean age, and they came in and told the Dogons about the Cyrus B, Cyrus A, Cyrus C, and these Dogons also taught them about the different cycles, like spring, equinox, October when they go into fall, when we go into summertime. And so their method, their reason for teaching these people this is these Dogons is so that they can know when to plant food, when the harvesting time is in fall. And so we used to have different ceremonies during the fall to celebrate the harvest, right? Yep. Which the devil later on came and say, "Oh, Halloween," and made it evil, and because he wanted to twist all of our stuff, our ancient culture around and demonize it, because it was a part of the Spanish Inquisition and the Christians colonizing the world, right? So, but during spring, right, we celebrated the return of the sun, the return of the sun. They turned it into the son of God. That's why they celebrate Easter during the spring equinox, right? So it's all dealing with all this was dealing with originally our natural times that we had, that we knew, and that we knew what to do during these cycles. We knew when to plant our watermelon, when to plant our okras and our cucumbers. We know that, hey, right before spring equinox, we start our planting, and then when fall comes, we start the harvest. And like I said, we had these different holidays, these different times where we had rituals. We had the bonfires, all that. We've been doing this. But like I say, nowadays it becomes evil after the Christian colonizers come in and say, "Oh, this is and then they still celebrate it, but they only celebrate it after they can monetize it. They make money off of that Easter harvest celebration. They called it, like I say, Halloween, and then they make money off the Christmas, and we actually had Children's Day during this time where we passed out gifts to all the children. They stole it and then turned it into, monetized it, and turned it into Christmas. They use the color red because it's dealing with the lower chakras, right? It's dealing with the root chakra. When they paint Santa Claus and everybody's got to have red on, and Valentine's and etc. They use the root chakra color because they want to appear to our lower senses instead of appearing to the crown chakra. Go ahead.
And they took there was a celebration in Kemet, or over here, because everything is confused, like you said, of raising that festival of lights that Festival of Lights was about raising the Great Mother in all of her manifestations. And here, in the winter, I've been doing that ritual for many years now, and we do a whole ritual where we elevate the Great Mother. We speak all the names that we can find of all of the expressions of the Great Mother, and we invoke those names. And when you keep, everybody, remember Bobby Hemmett, how he used to go and he would say all the names and everything. But so we say all the names of the Great Mother or all of the manifestations, but that we do that in the wintertime. That was the Festival of Lights. But that was removed. That wasn't even when I was initiating, I had to dig deep to find it, because I wanted to find a ritual that was specific for the Cosmic Mother. And so, and this was like 12, 13 years ago. So I had to go and I searched and searched and searched, and I found it. And now when I try to go back and find it, I can't find it. It's like it's been wiped. Because I'll go in and I'll say, show me the Festival of the Great Mother and all lights, and it's not there. But that all of these things are removed so that we won't align, like you said, with these natural frequencies. Like we won't align with the number 13. Because I remember when I was a child being afraid of being in an elevator that had a 13th floor, because I was told that it was
Friday the 13th. Go ahead.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. Everything. And these are our natural cycles. Again, going back to natural time, as the women, we hold the time. I always say, hey, are we on the moon cycle, or is the moon on our cycle? It takes 13 days for an egg to mature. On the 14th day, it's released. That's a natural cycle. That's just like when they talk about cycles of creation, a lot of times it doesn't start with the egg. It starts with the sperm. But never, they act like the egg ain't doing nothing. Oh no, it's the one that's guiding the whole process. It puts the sperm to sleep. When the few that make it into the cervix, if the egg is not ready, it paralyzes all the ones that are strong enough to make it until it's ready. Then it moves into position. And so this is, this is part of our natural cycle, getting our minds back in alignment with natural time. And one of the ways to find out is to see what happens in the body. One of the things we do, we say what's happening in the cosmos, what's happening inside the body, and what's happening in nature. So you don't have to believe nobody's philosophy, nothing. I mean, you can, but a lot of these things you can look at and see how they align with just natural occurrences. If you just believe what you see in your eyes, or study science, like, how we were talking about studying the atom. The atom will tell you a whole bunch of things about what we are and how we actually operate, because everything that we have, it comes from that atom. So I like you were man, we covered a lot. You were talking about that now. Okay, so this is what I want to know. So
I'm all over the place. Go ahead.
That's okay. Listen. I'm the wind, right? So yeah, I'm familiar with being all over the place. It's okay. Well, I don't say all over the place. I say we everywhere, right? So it's okay.
Everywhere. Mm-hmm.
We everywhere. We're gonna cover it all. So with what are some of the things that people can do to become more aware or be in alignment with natural cycles and natural time? How can they make some changes?
Okay, yeah. So we gotta follow the sun, because I heard Dick Gregory talk about this. He said that you got to get a certain. They try to sleep deprivation is the number one killer. Like people think that it's a whole bunch of other, like car crashes, etc. But sleep deprivation, according to what one of our great late scientists, because Dick Gregory was a scientist secretly to me. because he studied a lot of stuff about like breast milk, everything. Like it's a whole list of stuff that he studied. But one of the key things that he used to talk about, it said that sleep deprivation is the #1 killer. So your brain, after I think it's like 8.5 hours, maybe 9, it starts to produce a certain hormone that actually goes and rejuvenate and regenerate all your organs and heal your organs. But by them putting us on the Ford, Henry Ford, he came out, I think it was Henry Ford who came out with the 8-hour shift, 40 hours a week. So they working us around the clock. And then if you add in, oh, you got to cook for your kids, you got to get them dressed, etc. Right? If you got young kids, if you add in all the other times, we really not getting that much sleep. Right? A lot of us not only like me, I only get 5-6 hours because I'm always doing something, right? So #1, getting the right amount of sleep, right? That's what Dick Reagan was promoting. That said, like he said, sleep deprivation. So they've been sleep, and if you want to mess somebody up and get them real cranky or get them off, because CIA, for one of their tactics, the CIA and these intelligent groups that like do these like interrogations on these so-called terrorist people, one of the main tactics they use is sleep deprivation. Because if a person not getting that much sleep, you can throw their whole time off. You can throw their whole time off. And like I say, that's another thing about healing the organs and the body getting enough rest. When you get sick, your body automatically start producing melanin and tell you to sleep, go to sleep. That's because your body heals. Your body heals in sleep. We used to regrow limbs, but they threw that off too, also connected with the sleep, right? So that's one thing you can start doing to get back on the right times. Like we move, being that we sun people, we need to move with the sun. When the sun get up, we need to get up. When the sun go down, that's when we start to go down. I mean, well, not to go down, but like to relax and go and produce more melanin to go to sleep, right? And that's another thing, because the sun is where we actually get the melanin from, or the melatonin, right? So the sun goes into the optical nerves, and then it go that sunlight is actually slowed down into the pineal gland. The pineal gland is what produced the hormone melatonin. Melatonin actually is what project us into a higher realm. Like when you go, because people think when they dreaming that they ain't going to another realm, but when you dreaming, you actually going to another realm. You actually going to the what I would term as the fourth dimension, right? Where it's like a meeting place. It's like a place in between the fifth dimensional place, right? So that getting sunlight, because they want to keep, that's what that like I said, that C19 thing was about. It was about cutting us off from the sun. They've been trying to cut us off. That's why they doing the chemtrails to block out the sun. They got cloud forming and cloud seeding and all this. And actually the Anunnakis was started doing Enlil. Enlil ordered this a long time ago to throw us off. Because there's been a war going on between men and men been fighting against each other. Seemed like from the beginning. You got Cain and killing Abel. You got in the biblical text, they got Esau and his brother Jacob getting into it. They got going back to Enki and Enlil by Balaam. You could even go back farther than that to their father Nu and his brother Alelu. They was in the battle. So it's always been this man against man, and they want to take the woman out the equation, and so that's why we imbalance. We imbalance because it's always been man versus man, and it's never been hey, let's work together. Coming down to that part, right? So
that 9 to 5 is based on the male hormones. That's when the hormonal system for the male is the highest. So for women, this is why, we probably have women with all these fibroids and cysts and stuff like that, because they're working that 9 to 5. That's not our hormonal system. Ours goes 24/7. We have every phase of the moon. There's a hormone in the body that represents that phase of the moon. So that's not necessarily, at 9 o'clock, it's not the height for a female. And so then they're basically forcing everybody into a male system. So then, they talk about why the women got, why the black women got attitudes and and everything, right? Well, because we're not following our natural flow, our natural frequency. I like what you said about following the sun. Over time, now I do think that the female cycle, we do have a nocturnal cycle that is natural for us, right? But we also have a sun cycle too. But I know over time my cycles have changed. I used to be a night owl, and then all of a sudden, like you said, I get up and go down with the sun. Now I can still stay up in the evenings, but there are certain activities that I will not do in the evening because it's not, because my brain and my hormones are not working in that. They're not working in collaboration with sitting down and typing things on the computer, sending emails and doing administrative things. That's not going to happen in the evening. But these kind of conversations, oh yeah, we could do this. I can talk about this all night. I can if people want to talk about do some coaching or counseling or whatever, I can do that in the evening, but I won't be doing administrative things, right? And so getting to know what those natural cycles are, knowing the height of our hormones. And I love, love that part about us staying in alignment with the sun, because that's important. And that's one of the things too that they keep the melanated woman away from is the sun. Right? They put us in there with the moon, but I always tell them, I said, listen, the moon is a reflector, not a director. So if you got a moon, you got a sun. And so when we start, this is what I was talking about, when I was talking about going around and just activating these cycles within women, we have a natural cycle that is aligned with the sun because our eggs look just like the sun and they do the same thing that stars do, right? They go supernova, and that's a menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle it does the same thing. It's a star that is erupts, forms a nebula, and then it starts spitting out pieces of iron, which is the flow, right? And we have a 28-day cycle with that ovum, right? Every time there's a menstrual cycle. So we teach this to our young girls. We don't teach them that once you get on your cycle, now you can have a baby. Who wants to tell that to their 8-year-old, their 9-year-old, their 10-year-old, right? We want them to realize that now you have womb power. And then this is what your sons do in your body. Right? If you no longer have a cycle, oh shoot, you like the elder stars. They sit to the side of the galaxy. They don't never bump into each other. They don't get caught up in each other's gravitational pull, and they're called the oldest stars in the system. And so it's just like how the galaxy is. The ones that we call them the galactic mothers. They're still spinning around in that galaxy. And they having babies and they having families. And then once you get old enough, you go on over. You become an elder star, and you just radiate a frequency, and that frequency stays with you. You think about the women once they get past when they get to perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, all the pauses, right? This society tells us that now you're going downhill. Don't nobody like you no more. You're not sexy no more. You don't have no power. You don't have no career. This is why, like I always tell people, just think about it. Who always had everything when you was growing up? your meemaw, your grandma, your grandmama, your nana, right? You need something, you going over there, you say, Grandma, your mama might not have it, but your grandmama do. Your mama say, go, babe, go on over there and get my purse. Because she always got it. Because she's an elder star. She's holding a frequency that's steady and foundational. And this is what we teach our elders. They are also, like, in the center of the galaxy is a black hole. Right. And I know things get sucked into black holes, but that's the same process that happens when you are going into so-called menopause. That's a natural cycle. You are absorbing your eggs. They ain't dying. You're absorbing suns and becoming stronger. You're strengthening that ability to stay focused. And sometimes black holes also send out a pulse. They send out a pulsar, right? This is us coming into our, what we call our wise woman stage. And so, that's a natural cycle. We don't have to, everything doesn't have to be doom and gloom. That's what they're teaching us. It's either you this or you that. Like you said, it's either left or right. It's that duality. But they don't teach us that, if you look in the cosmos and match it up with your body, you will find that you're just moving into another cycle that's vital as well. You just have to find the vitality in your natural state of being. Go ahead.
Yeah. I would say they also created the graveyard shift, and they try to have most of the melanated people on the graveyard shift because it's gonna put you in the grave faster, because they cutting you off from the sun. Because if you're going on graveyard shift, most times you're gonna sleep. Hey, Hakeem, you got to cut that off. Hey, most time you're gonna sleep in the daytime when you're supposed to be out in the sun, right? Another thing they did, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad pointed this out in his book, How to Eat to Live, that we didn't eat 3 times a day, because if you eat 3 times a day, that's making your organs constantly working. Like if you eat like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, your organs don't have time to take a break. Like they constantly working to digest food. So like in the morning, like you eat breakfast, then lunch, then dinner, especially usually if you working at 9 to 5, by the time you get off fixed dinner, it'll be 9, 10 o'clock. So yeah, they really throwing us off on our time just by making us talking about eating 3 times a day, right? So like, your organs never got time to rest. They always constantly digesting, and we constantly full of shit. You know what I'm saying? We constantly full of shit.
Yeah.
Melanated people are constantly full of shit because we off our natural cycle of, hey, we ate 1 time a day, and but I think the Honorable Elijah Muhammad pointed it out, between 12 and 6. That's when we ate. We ate that 1 time. That way, it gives your body time to recuperate. And then in some cases, we only ate once every 3 days. It depends on how you build up your body with the fasting and all that. And they took a lot of this and put it into religion, like the Ramadan and all that. But like I said, that eating 1 time a day in between 12 and 6, what gave us the ability to be able to, for our body to recruit. And then not only that, they giving us the harsh foods, like heavy metals, the heavy metals in our food, adding these hip graphene and all this into our food. That added another layer to throwing us off on our time frequency. Because what does metal do? When you go on a scale, you add metal in your pocket, it's gonna give you more weight. So we supposed to be getting more lighter as the planet sped up. We supposed to speed up with the planet and we supposed to be getting more lighter. If you go back in the old days, I remember like most of the old, like doing, like my grandpa, he wore like 15. Like the older class, they were bigger men. But as we speeding up, we becoming more spiritual again, because they told you in the beginning of they biblical text where they said, now man has become a living soul. So we're becoming living souls as with the planet vibration as it speed up. But they want to add heavy metals, They want to add all this stuff to our food and then make us eat 3 times a day. That is really throwing our natural time frames off, right? What you
Okay.
got? What you think about that? About the
Yeah.
eating 1 time a day? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And my one of my teachers, Dr. Jill Pookrum, she talked about how you that 3 times a day is it's for children. It's until you reach a mature body, right? You know, and I joke around with my son. My son is 19, but he don't have his man body yet. That's what he still gotta, so he still needs to eat 3 times a day, right? But once he gets his weight up, so to speak, yeah, we don't need to get, because we're not growing taller, right? What happens is we start going wider, right? So yeah, and then if you really want, if you do a really good cleanse, and when I say a cleanse and a detox, maybe about 90, 3 times, like 90 days. And then you go back and you decide that you're going to change the way you eat. You're going to find that you're not going to be hungry. You're not going to be hungry 3 times a day. You can eat between that 12 and 6. And then maybe after 6 o'clock, you may crave something to drink. You may want some juice or, water or whatever. But it's, once you have an adult body, you don't need to keep feeding it. You feed it the sun. You that's nutrition. You eat, you can, they call what the sun eaters. Right? We eat the sun. The more and more you're outside and you're catching that sun, even if it was just, 20, 30 minutes, just go, or just go sit in it or something, or put your head out the window, do whatever, right? You're going to want to eat less. But of course, the more of the unnatural foods that you eat, because they have those agents in there that make you crave them. Now, here's what I'm going to say, right? They know, okay, here she go, right? This is what I say, because we're always responding to everything. We already know that they got a whole bunch of stuff out here to dampen us. Why? Because we're divine beings, we're celestial beings, we're cosmic beings, whatever, in physical forms, and we can activate that, right? So instead of us always just responding, we need to make some decisions about who we are and what. We don't have to allow none of this stuff, right, to affect us. Now, it may be affecting us now, but that is not our limit, right? And so when you change your mind and you make a decision about it, then you realize that, okay, I'm not limited to whatever they putting in the sky, whatever they, putting in the water or whatever. Like, even if you want to, I'm not saying, eat whatever you want to, right? But let's say you're at a family event or whatever, and you want to eat some pineapple upside down cake or something, right? But you normally don't eat like that. You tell the food, you blessing your food or whatever, you tell that food, you are here for entertainment purposes only, right? You're not gonna stick to nothing. You're not gonna put some sludge in my body. You ain't no biofilms. We're not doing that anymore, because we don't have to allow it. We don't have to say that's okay just because they have developed these things to stop us. We can turn that around and say, you know what? Enough is enough. Right. And then what happens, though, it doesn't mean you're going to go around eating McDonald's every day and just, staying healthy. You're not going to even want it. I heard Dr. Kia was saying this yesterday. When you take on your celestial birthright, then you want to eat like a celestial being. You're not going to crave those things. Now, you might, when you're around your family, you might enjoy something here or there, just so you can commune, because it's a communion thing when you share the same food with the people that you love, right? You're communing. And so that's what it's for. And it's not going to do nothing else. right? I don't care what they got flying in the air. You know, I don't care what parasites or whatever from what, you know, I think when I was on the show with Risha Stone, you had asked me about the parasites, and I was talking about Dr. B. Serious's detox and how it deals with not just the physical parasites, but the interdimensional ones. And when I was doing the parasite cleanse, I had I had 3 different dreams that dealt with these interdimensional parasites. And you know, and I had to, you know, they had to get dealt with in that 4th dimension. Like you say, it's the 4th dimension. They pull you into that state, and then you have to deal with it. But one of the things, again, we don't have to be afraid of things that come from other dimensions that are, you know, so-called aliens, demons, devils, angels, whatever, because each one of us, we have the right, the purpose, the priority, the authority over our own existence. Nobody else gets to determine that. And the more that we take that on, then then you know, when you make that kind of decision, then you can make a decision about how you're going to be aligned now. You're not going to be limited to what you have been limited to before. All the dampening fields, everything that they're doing with the sun. Because then now we get to have a coexistence, like you said, with the cosmos. We get to, when them Schumann frequencies start going off, right? We get to get in on the conversation. Oh, what y'all doing? When the sun and the earth, wait, hold on, what we doing? You know, because we have a frequency. We actually have another frequency where we talk about being directed. We know, we can hear and know what to do when there is natural catastrophes. But you can't do that if you full of, you know, these chemicals and all of these things, and they get to determine and direct, like you said, your sleep patterns. I hope everybody getting this right. Your sleep patterns, your communion with the sun. You know,
Another thing.
go ahead.
Another thing is the artificial, because we talk about natural, right? And we're dealing with artificial. So if you remember the Matrix, when I think it was, I can't remember the dude name, but he the one that ended up selling them out when he was eating that steak, and he said this Cypher. Okay, so they put us into artificial time, artificial foods, like all the colors now it's artificial. I remember, hold on, just my boy's in the background, but my baby, he's smart. My baby, he's smart. But they artificial flavors. Like I remember my grandma saying, because this was a while back, and we laughed about it. But now that I think about it, I was like, man, grandma was saying something then. And this right here before Matrix came out. She was in the hospital right before she passed, and she said, this hospital food, I can't deal with it, right? Because she said they brought her some chicken, and the chicken tastes like rubber, right? She said this chicken must have been mad when he died. Because she remember keep around old folks, a lot of the older people they had to wring their own chicken and pluck them and fry them themselves, right? So she said this chicken don't even taste like chicken, right? And she was right, because they from to find out they growing chicken in lab now, right? So they growing the chickens in labs. Then she said bring her a burger, right? So we went to this place called Jack in the Box, right? And so we brought her a hamburger. She ate that hamburger. She said, ain't no moo in this burger. Ain't no moo in this burger, man. It ain't no real cow, right? She was saying that way back then, and then come to find out now they printing beef now. They printing beef in the lab. They growing chicken in the lab. So they had to get us, in order to get us off of our natural time cycles, they had to bring us into this everything artificial flavors, artificial the red, I think it's red 50, which is actually harmful for us. See, our body's not supposed to deal with these. They artificial, so they can deal with artificial flavors, artificial all this, and this taking, but that when we deal with the artificials, it's taking up us off our natural time when we dealing and not dealing with the natural. And then another thing they doing is they at the GMO the fruits and vegetables because they started taking all the vitamins. We're not even getting the vitamins that as melanated people, we're not even getting the vitamins that we supposed to have. Why? Because they separate, they taking the vitamins out and putting them on the shelf in a separate section. Like when you go to Walmart, they got a whole section with vitamin C, vitamin, and they call it the where the pharmacy is. So they're taking all the vitamins and they separating them from the natural plant, and then giving us the plant with all these foods with no vitamins, like macaroni and cheese. That's really not food. Like real food is vegetables, fruits, and if you notice when you go to the grocery store, all the real food is in the vegetable section, and the stuff in the middle, like cereals, and all this is all artificial. They got us eating cereal and milk. We didn't drink cow milk, right? So like a lot of the stuff that they putting us on is their body can handle it. We can't, even if you a meat eater, right? They can eat raw meat. We can't eat raw meat. That'll make you sick. As a melanated people, that'll make us sick. That'll make you that'll make your body's not supposed to deal with that type of stuff. So that's another way they got us off this natural cycle, is by, like I say, bringing us. They want to bring us completely into this, which is out right now. It's going out because they really lost. Their time is up. So they ran out of time on this artificial thing. And what we need to start doing is stop buying all the artificial stuff and start dealing with the real natural stuff, so we can get back on our time for time scale. Yeah. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. One of our frequencies, not too maybe about a moon ago, we had a frequency about we will always have natural food and pure water, right? And so the Unity Act on that one was for everybody to start producing their own food. I don't care where you live, whatever. You can get a hydroponic thing. We said when we come back around to that same cycle next year, we want people to start showing off their vegetables. I got a stalk of broccoli right over there. I mean, not broccoli, celery right there in the window. I took, and it's growing, it's sprouting up. And so when we have our in-person events, like when we do the Melanin frequency, the convergence, people come and bring their their items. This is something I think Risha Stone was on that one, and he was talking about also, in addition, bringing the natural elements, the stones and things like that are in your area. And then when we have a meetup, that's what we do. Right. And so then now we're off, and then here we go with the communion. Right. So we're sharing with each other. I'm in the Washington, D.C. area. I spend a lot of time in Georgia. And so I bring stuff from here, and then we meet up in Georgia. And then, that way that gets us, more in alignment with that. Right. And so at a certain point, then we will eliminate the need to, go to these grocery stores and stuff like that. We become our own farmers. We can grow. You can, here we go. We call melanated immortals, right? And so people say, we're not immortal, people die, right? But the food is even telling you that it's immortal, right? You can take a stalk of celery, cut it, refrigerate it, freeze it, or whatever. But if you take that and put it in some water, then it resurrects itself. So if the food does it, we do it. You see,
plants, they live, they go back, they die in the fall, or they say they die, but they don't die. They it's just a hibernation. We go into a hibernate. Sleep, death is really a disease that there's a cure for, because we used to live longer. But like I say, about going through all the stuff that we just talked about the sleep deprivation, the altering of
Mm-hmm.
our foods into artificial foods. All of these things shorten our lifespan. When we've been
Mm-hmm.
melanated beings, we live over like close to 1,000 years on the surface, not even counting going to the center of the earth, where one day is 1,000 years. But we live
Mm-hmm.
longer lifespans. Like even my grandmother was like 100 and something, 100 and like
Yep.
12 when she died. Like so, yeah, like
Wow.
it's people that live like the women, especially our melanated women, they had long lifespans. Still to this day,
Mm-hmm.
like, but now it's starting to get shorter and shorter and shorter. Why? Because they're poisoning us. They're poisoning
Right.
us. They're giving us they not only that, they put scientists in labs to engineer parasites just to attack us. They went to Africa and to study them people over there, and they studied us over here. They created
Mm-hmm.
they created certain diseases like diabetes. They started
Mm-hmm.
creating because a lot of our people suffer from that. They created artificial sugars, right? Like if you go down to
Mm-hmm.
Mexico right now, it's a lot of stuff that's banned in America, right? That's that's banned in other countries that America
Yes.
accept. Like even the bread, we didn't eat. We ate flat bread. We ate certain types of bread that
Mm-hmm.
was conducive with us. But since the colonization and everybody bringing in their different foods, we don't eat Italians. We're not Italians. Or even though Italians come from us, I can break that down. But it's a lot of foods that's in America, that we didn't eat. But now we eat
Yep.
them because we've been so-called Americanized. When we are the
That's
real
right.
Americans, by the way. But they brought
Ashe.
in like fried foods. Like we didn't fry our food. We didn't like the meats. We didn't fry our meats. We never fry. We had smokehouses over here.
Oil.
We had
Mm-hmm.
we smoked it in the ground or smoked it in a smokehouse. We always barbecued or grilled our meat, baked it. We never fried it. So that's another thing that's
Mm-hmm.
causing like the heart disease and all this, because they bring it in. They want to grease us down. You know, if you notice, they trying to weigh us down with the fats, with the saturate. They call it saturated fat. Now, how does that sound? They want to saturate you with fat. Yeah, because they trying to hold us anchored down to their time frequency, to their time zone. That's why they call it
Mm-hmm.
obesity. You can hear the word
Oh,
beast.
look
They
at
want
that.
to turn us back in because they are the beast. These people that's attacking us, because they are the beast, they want to turn us into what they are. They want to
Ashe.
make us obesity, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
why if you shout out Dr. Savy, man, one of our late great alchemists, as far as our health
Mm-hmm.
system go. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's dealing with another part of our time is dealing with alkalinity and acidics. So
Mm-hmm.
acidic food is deteriorating us. What does acid do? When you take acid and put it on something, it
Corrode.
melts it down, it breaks it down. So our body is being broke down because they brought in a lot of these acidic foods, even though we know how to utilize the acidics like the lemons and limes, which actually becomes alkaline when you put it into the body. We knew
Right.
what foods to stay away from. And like I say, they created a lot of they brought in a lot of the acidic foods like the macaroni and all these other things, which was
Mm-hmm.
we created to feed certain species, especially the ones that we had working as this chattel. That we had chattel, and we would feed them. We created certain foods. We even
Mm-hmm.
hybridized certain foods like the broccoli, like the
Mm-hmm.
garlic. We created the
Mm-hmm.
garlic because you're supposed to eat garlic with your meat, being that
Mm-hmm.
because the garlic killed the parasites. Now think about this. I don't know if you ever watched those vampire movies where they give garlic to kill the vampires. Garlic kill
Right.
vampires, and what they're saying is the vampires really are the parasites. The
Parasite.
parasites are
Mm-hmm.
they're the parasites that want to lock into your neural cortex, and then you wondering why when you go into the grocery store, some in your brain is saying, buy that Snickers, buy this ice cream. That's the
Mm-hmm.
parasite actually telling you to buy that because they survive off of sugar, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they showed you this in a movie called Man in Black Part 1, where these roaches, which is a bug or parasite, came down and took the man's like cut the man out, took his body and put it on. And then the first thing that he wanted when he walked into the house to talk to the man's wife, he wanted, make me some sugar water. And that's why they invented Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid, and they made it artificial flavor. The Kool-Aid is artificial flavor. Then you got to mix artificial sugar with it. But if you go to other countries, like when I went down to Mexico, and tried one of their sodas, right? Because Doc used to tell us, right? Yeah, it's different. It's got sugar cane instead of fruit-torn corn syrup. Fruit-torn corn syrup is taking us out. Even though our bodies over here in America is conducive with the corn, because the corn is conducive with America's body, right? Or with the American native's body. And it goes all the way back. That's why I put out a tape called Children of the Corns, right? So corn is conducive with us, even though it's a little acidic. It's conducive with us, but we use pure sugar cane. We use brown sugar. Melanated sugar is brown sugar, right? So use that brown sugar instead of this bleached sugar. They bleached everything. They bleached the rice. The rice, the natural rice is brown rice, but they bleached the rice. So they want to bleach us out, and they bleaching us all of our foods out. They taking the vitamins. We're not really. Most of us are vitamin D. We get vitamin D from the sun, and all of this, like I say, plays into taking us off of our natural cycle of what who we are, and and that's why we sick. When a car, look, if your body is a car, a physical vessel, your body is a car, and like you were saying, well, we don't die, we really multiply, because we are re means to do again, in is the opposite of out. Car is the physical vessel, nation is the group of people. So we are a reincarnation of people, and to throw us off and to keep our time cycles, because we used to, the high priestesses on the land. We had high priestesses on the land over here and in over there in Africa.
Everywhere.
When people are born, they knew who that they could tell you who that person was when they came back. They could say, oh, like I know right now that my baby son is my granddad, because he looked just like him, he act like him, he bow-legged like him. So I like, being that I'm aware of what's going down, I know that, hey, this is my granddad that came back to my. That's why it's good to have kids so that we can come back. But they don't. But they want to create Planned Parenthood to stop the sisters, and they put it in our communities, and it's connected with Bill Gates and all of them, right? But they put this in our communities because they know that, hey, if they don't have no kids, they won't come back. Right? They know this.
Ooh,
if you don't have children, you stopping yourself from having a pathway to come back. That's why a lot of the people that's cutting it off, some of the young people having 10, 15 kids. Why? Because that's who we are. We always had come back. So and they knew this, so they got to cut that off. That's why they created birth control and the other methods to stop the melanated people from having so many children, because they know that we reincarnate. What did you think about that?
Shoot. Listen, I think that with these, we call it, one of the things I call it is a resource, right? Because source and then we source again. Right. And so definitely knowing who is coming in, the vessels that are coming in, like you said, with your son, like my daughter, that's my mom. Everybody said when she was born, she looked just like her, and she had the same kind of attitude that she had it when she was a newborn. She just, my mother was, as they called it, a high sedity, right? She was just a sedity woman. And so my newborn, when she was a newborn, she just had this little attitude, like, unhand me, and I used to crack up. I said, see, I told you, because me and my mama used to have these conversations. And I said, I told you, And so definitely, I love what you said though about trying to get us to not have children. So, which is unnatural, right? But it's not. Here's the thing: it's not working, right? Because our parents, depending on what generation you're in, right? And my parents' generation, my parents had they had a small family. It was 9 of them. That was a small family, right? Other people, they had 20 children, same mother, same father. It was 20. And then whatever other children he had someplace else, right? But and so now we come up here, but you still have people who are on average have 3 children. They'll have 2 or 3 children. So you're still outnumbering yourself, right? Whereas back in that time, the Caucasian families were having a large family is 5. That's a large family. Now they barely, they're lucky if they have 1. So, like, I know this is going in another direction, but so when they talk about the numbers, our numbers here, I was saying, they're lying. It's no way we only 10%. No way.
Yeah, that's a big lie. Yeah,
I tell people, I said, believe your eyes. Just walk around. Like, I live in the Washington D.C. area. This is the former chocolate city. I live in Maryland, right? But I live in PG County, Maryland. And PG County, Maryland is where, a lot of the melanated people live. I can walk around this neighborhood I'll take a walk every day. I can walk around this neighborhood 7, let me say 6. No, I think I timed it. I have gone 2 weeks without seeing a Caucasian. Unless I go to the grocery store. And then sometimes even going to the grocery store, especially if I stay around here. And I don't live in the hood or anything like that. These are the fancy, Black folk, And anyway, so, and then I remember I went down to South Carolina and Georgia. And this was during, so-called COVID. And we got lost, and we went, and we were in this town that had one stoplight. And I was like, oh shoot, because they, up here they tell it, oh, don't go down south, and it's dangerous because they still, in the Klan territory and everything. We went to the store, wasn't nothing but us in there. Wasn't nothing but us in the houses. We started seeing people come to the house. And then we went town after town after town of these little small towns in South Carolina. And it's just us. So you going to tell me the state of Georgia is predominantly Caucasian? South Carolina? That's not what I saw. Because everywhere I go, I see us. Now, yeah, if you go to Georgetown, and you go to Alexandria, or you go, someplace where, it's supposed to be, whatever. Yeah, but we up in there too, because where we at? We in the kitchen, we cleaning, we at the front desk, right? So I don't believe these numbers. I think we should do our own census. Yep. Because one, like I always tell people, we ain't gonna sit and let nobody count us anyway. I remember when I was little, when the census people came, and my parents said, "Now go on back, go to the back." They wouldn't even open the door because they were like, "You ain't gonna come up in here and count everybody."
Yeah, yeah. I remember when they came and they started harassing me because I had the Moorish flag up in my yard, right on the flagpole. So the Census Bureau kept coming, man. And then I ain't never put it together. I say, man, why these people still? And then they ain't going to nobody else's house. But I think they was coming after me because of the Moorish flag. But yeah, that's a lie. We outnumber them 10-1, and that's why they scared to really. That's why I don't know why they keep trying to excite us or trying to get us to hold on. Yeah, I don't know why they keep trying to excite us or try to get us started as far as this race war, because And they showing all these, they try to, and a lot of it is crisis actors set up by the Masonic and the Arab Pike agenda to try to activate that Rex 44, I mean Rex 84. But I don't want to get too much in that because they start trying to mess with your feed on that. But yeah, but we outnumber them maybe 10, 20 to 1. And that's why they study trying to create, like I say, these, they trying to get, because they can't win if we study having babies and all that, and we keep coming back. And so they can't get us off of the natural time. They know that, hey, we only got a certain amount of time to do this to these people. And once we go past, which they already passed the time now. The minute hand and hour hand is on 6, just like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. And their system of fraud, whether it be their money system, their the food, all that's not gonna work no more. It's not gonna work no more. All the engineered things that they're doing, all that's going out now. It's no more. It's our time now. It's our time to control. To that's why. Really, it started happening in 2008. That's when our time started. Our new time, 2008, and so ever since then, they really trying to make it like they still winning, but they really losing. That's why it ain't gonna be no more them controlling. And then we come all of our children. They coming back smarter. The barytary gland is reactivating. Our pineal gland is opening up so wide now. We always been stronger. We always been. What you think Michael Jackson? I mean, not Michael Jackson. Yeah, Michael Jackson was one of them. But what you think Michael Jordan was doing? He really was flying. They call him hang time. They said that brother. They said that brother jump in the air. They cut to commercial and come back. He's still in the air. Man, who else can do that besides melanated beings? You ain't see, they made a movie called White Man Can't Jump.
That's right.
And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because they know who we are, right? He couldn't jump to save his chick, right? They put his money up. Yeah, he couldn't even jump to save his chick. So yeah, and this ain't a go ahead. What you finna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, and here's the thing, we are an evolution of ourselves, right? So we already know what this is, right? We know, like, so we're talking about who we were, right? So we are who we were and the evolved version. So now we know what to do. So we're not always having to respond, and it's time for us to turn around and say, you know what, guess what? It's not going to be, like you said, it ain't no more and it ain't going to be no more. We're not always going to be whatever y'all got. We already on the other side of it. Whatever it is that you're putting in the food and the water and the air, the aliens that you talking to, whatever, because we celestial beings. We make aliens. You know what I'm saying? We made that too.
And our you know what, that's true. And our adaptability is none other. We can adapt, we adjust. Even when they put us through, when they came over here and they started forcing us and try to steal our land and try to enslave us, we adapt to that. We adapt to any. We have the most highest adaptability on the melanated beings on the planet. Has the most adaptability on anybody. That's why they try to say we were roaches. Like, they say roaches don't die, they multiply. And then somebody a roach can survive radiation and all this. And then also you can't use the same poison on the roach, because when you use that poison, it ain't gonna work because they adapt to it. Yeah, so the poison they've been using, we adapted to the poison. All they doing, because what don't kill you make you stronger. So all they doing by trying to, all these years they've been attacking us with the food, putting stuff in our deodorant, all of our stuff. All they did is make us stronger and make us more adaptable, because we have the immune system. Our immune system is much stronger. Yeah, it's much stronger than this. And so we immune. All they doing is making us immune to making us stronger. This planet really, by us being here as melanated beings, this really was a boot camp for the gods. And they, all the stuff that they put us through was just like a boot camp, and all these obstacles. It was boot camp to make us stronger, to make us more adaptable to all the things that we about to, when we go into this next phase, this next reality, this new heaven, this new earth. It's gonna be a whole nother. We way stronger than we were back then. We way stronger due to all the stuff they put us through. Yeah, what you gotta think? What you think about that?
I say that's it. I mean, that's it. We call it all ancestral wisdom evolved. Right, we're in awe of ourselves. We're, you know, here's the thing, like we talk about what we were, and you know, sometimes we may spend a lot of time on that, but we have to be who we are now. Like I like how you said I don't see it on your thing, but we have to be who we are now. We know now, that's what you got, right? And so now it is not about just, you know, where we built the pyramids, we did this, because listen, all of that, those who we were then, right, got us enslaved, right? So we don't want to go back. We want, like I always tell people, it ain't no reset. It's an upgrade. You know, every time you go to sleep, don't reset, upgrade. Go to the next level. Hold on to the most efficient frequency that you have, and then take it to the next level. And so we're going to hold on to the most efficient frequencies that we had as our ancestors, and with our most ancient ancestor being source. Right. And so we hold on to that frequency, and we just keep taking it to the next level. Then we are not responding. Right? They trying to get our attention because we ain't paying no attention to them no more. Right? No, that is not, we're not doing this. I'm not trying to be looking over my shoulder. Right? We're going to just take this on and move forward, and we just start making decisions that don't have nothing to do with that. This is the planet. This is what the planet's doing. This is what the cosmos doing. This is what solar system doing. This is what the celestial realm is doing. And then we start having different kind of conversations, but we have to change our minds about who we are. We got to just decide that we something else now. We're on this next level, and that these things are gone. They're not going to be affecting us like this, because we're not going to be sitting here fighting and being in these wars and this conflict and deficit and in fear. So,
right, then,
you know, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
That's right, because like I said, we on a different wavelength now. We always been on. That's why we got rhythm. And Doc used to always say, when he used to close out, he used to say, "We gonna win this war." Why? Because we can dance and they can't. Right? We can win. We gonna win because we can dance. Okay. We can move. We can shuck and jive. We can duck and dodge. Right? We know, we can duck and jive, we can duck and dodge, because we got skills to pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? We got skills to pay the bills. So Okay. And so now, like I said, like their system, like there's never been an end of the world for us. It's an end of the world for them, right? And then when you read it, it really don't say the end of the world. It says the end of an age. The end of an age. So this is the end of the white and black. The like I say, going back to that duality, the Piscean age, or where we got to be against each other. Now there's no number but one. There's no number but one when we going back into this this Aquarian phase. There's no number but one. So we on that page now, as a melanated beings as a whole, even because I know hey Hakeem Haru, I know we talking about, I got to get ready to get off in because I got to deal with them, but the African, I'm gonna let you say, I'm gonna move it out, but like I say, all melanated beings are like around the world, and there are some people that look melanated, but they really avatars. That's what happened too, because you got certain groups of extraterrestrials. A lot of people don't want to talk about the extraterrestrials, but they came here and they were advanced, and they can engineer avatars that look like us, but they really reptilians. They really other species. who coming down to try to incorporate themselves into the earth frequency, because they wanted to experience this even us. We are star light beings. We have a higher cause, a higher light frequency. Even if you look at the they got what they call the auric egg. The auric egg is dealing with the chakras. It's actually 9 chakras. They only telling you about 7, right? Because it's the black and then the fluorescent white that goes on top of the crown chakra. So your auric egg actually protects you from these different frequencies and energies. Your auric egg has a timing like a car. And when that timing is off on your car, that was I'm gonna say a minute ago, when your timing's off, that's when it make you sick. What they call it sick. When your timing's off. So they got us on this artificial time. That's why we always get sick. But once we get back on the natural time zone that we're supposed to be on, we won't have to worry about getting sick no more. We'll always be on a straight and narrow, which is the 7 on the chakra. It's a neutral zone. We are neutral zoids. We maintain the neutral zone, right? So they wanted to get us out of that neutral zone and bring us into and turn us into cherubs. Cherubs is will be the disagreeable or the negative energy, while the seraphims, if you're talking about the angelical beings, we are angelical beings, and they turned us from cherubs or neutral zoids into either all the way good, all the way yes man. It's a movie out with his name was Jim Carrey, where it's called Yes Man. Well, he went around saying yes to everything, and then eventually that landed him on a low end of the stick. So we wasn't yes man. They forced us to be yes man, because if you ain't agree with their Christianity, if you ain't agree with their Islam or their religious control, then they put a bullet on you or they hung you. So they forced us into a lot of stuff that wasn't natural. They forced us on their time, which wasn't a natural time. It's an artificial time, and got us off of our natural time. Well, we moved with the sun. We move with the waters, the mother, the great waters, right? They call it mommy water, right? We move with that frequency, right? If you study to add before I close out, if you study the moon creates low tides and high tides on the planet, and that's also connected with the woman, with the mother. The mother has a high tide, they call it a period, and a low tide, right? So that's when your high tide, because the women is the only people that do this. The high tide is when you have that time of the month, and then it goes back to it's connected with the moon cycle. So yeah, but they want to throw that off to where sometimes now your woman is because of the foods and the different heavy metals, your period happen different times. Like it's this time week, but then next month it's a whole nother week. When it wasn't happening like that until they put us on this art. It was always the same. You knew back before all this happening, you knew the exact time that your period is gonna come on. Now, like I said, through the heavy metals, the switching of the time, leap month, leap years, and all this other crap, they threw our whole natural time cycle off. But now that we are aware and alert on what's happening to us, we can start to readjust back onto our natural scale. Now that they turn CERN off, you can feel it. You can feel that CERN is not working right now because they altered our time. You can feel it. You can feel, hey man, it's getting hotter. They can't stand it. They got to go back to the caves, man. They going back to the caves, just like Doc said. Yeah,
I call his son the Caucasian killer. No, I was just saying that's fun. That's the Caucasian killer. So it has been an honor to have you come in, and I'm so excited about having this dialogue. I thank you so much for coming through and giving us some pointers on this natural time, some acts of unity, because you talked about that being one. That's it. Everything is about how we are connected. I always talk about how you know, one of the reasons why we talk about each other is because we connected just like them trees, right? So that's why everything is about, you know, oh, this person did that and this person did that. It's because we have a natural connection. And so it's all about being in that oneness. And you definitely have given us something here to take forward into these acts of unity. And of course, we would love to have you come back. You know, maybe you and
Oh yeah,
Arisha Stone and
anytime.
some
Just let
other
me know.
folks.
Just let me know.
Yep. So,
We can get it
all
cracking
right.
anytime. This is what I do. I get it cracking all around the clock. I'm just trying to help my people out, the melanated people around the world, as much as I can. And I got a high level of common sense that I got from my dad, because my dad wasn't book smart, but had a high level of common sense and logics, you know. So that's where I
Okay.
get it from.
I say we can see it. We can see it, and you know. So yes, 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 yes. And you're that archetype. That's the compassionate one, right? And that compassionate one, that's what y'all do. You literally are a compass, right? So you can point people in all these various directions. So we definitely appreciate you, and we thank you for your time, and thank you for having us on your channel, right? Because we were on your channel, and you was on ours. So
Yeah.
we definitely appreciate you, and it definitely has been my honor and my pleasure. And we see y'all on the next one. Hotel.
Hotel.
Ooh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Y'all, that was amazing. I give thanks to High Priestess. I give thanks to the young elder for showing up for ourselves on this evening. I know y'all got a lot out of that because I saw it in the chat. I couldn't keep up with the chat, y'all, in the background. So, if, you know, your message didn't get up there, it wasn't on purpose. But in and of the same, we just give thanks for everything that has come through. We're saving these announcements to, I don't know if I mean, I don't know why, but the word Baba is coming out of my mouth for the young elder, because for every single opportunity I've had to sit and listen and just absorb his energy or his aura through the space. And even if he just asking a question, there are questions that need to be asked, because it's very important for us to know the whys to the questions, right? And so when you ask those questions, that is what makes us wiser. Ashe, because we are asking the why. So much gratitude to you, young elder, for showing up. Y'all, we want y'all to stay with us till the end so that we can go into the focus for every single thing that was put out into the space tonight. You may have had an epiphany. You may have set new intentions. You may have some goals that you know you need to meet. You may have a space in your community or a space in your home that you might need to tweak. Okay. So, what we do at the end is tap into this sigil that our frequency and interdimensional faction of the priesthood generated through meditation, and we're going to focus on it at the end, but we want you to be here so we can seal all of this that has come through this melanin frequency wave number 46. Ashe. So let's do this moving forward. We just want to remind you that we are here every single Sunday, which is Dali, according to the Omic Mayan calendar. And we're here at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are in the year of divine unity as we bring in and are closing out. Just a few heptads from now, we embody our natural love frequency, living as one in divine unity on earth. Ashe. And so we've closed out our Melanin frequency 46. Well, it's not really closed out, because really you just got your act of unity to put out, throughout this heptad that we're getting ready to go into until next Sunday. We always operate on natural cycles, and we heard a lot of different cycles. It's so many cycles that we have to adapt ourselves to, right? So we have natural cycles that we adapt ourselves to, or that we create within ourselves. Because, you know, we are time. We are the originals. We are the waymakers. We are the temples. We are wholeness. We are whole being because we are that we are. For I am that I am, Ashe. So as we walk in the rightness that we are as expressions of the Creator, being that we are one of the 260 kin expressions of the Creator, we got this. We have all the power, the knowledge. We just got to remember how we're going to shift the global consciousness together. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this sigil up. Y'all get in a very comfortable position. Begin to breathe on purpose. All right. You focus on this sigil for the duration of it. Set your intentions. Do your breath work. And let's do this work. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo.
We are spreading the word about an energy vigil dedicated to the betterment of melanin-dominant people worldwide. It is called Melanin Emerging Collective Consciousness Alignment. As you know, there are groups across the world that pray and meditate for global peace and love. Though this has benefited the world, it is obvious that more is needed to dissolve the systematic and individual oppression of melanin-dominant people worldwide. Our collective is transmitting frequencies right now. Each week, a different melanin-dominant group is accountable for generating and holding the frequency. We began transmitting on Fall Equinox 2019. To find out more or get involved in this movement, check out our website at www.melaninfrequency.org.